Welcome you to Next Level Leadership Training, and we are going to, in this session, talk about the 6 geniuses. Before we do that, we just want to tell you a little bit about the vision of Next Level. We like to talk a little bit about this every time we come together, and that is that we're here to help you reach your next level, whatever that looks like, whatever level you're at. We want to provide information, encouragement, and motivation to help you get to that next level, wherever that might be for you. And we realize that's different for everybody.
Yep.
Everybody has different skill sets. Everyone has different levels of knowledge, and
Everyone's in a different place.
yeah, and different experiences. So we recognize that, but we want to provide what we think is some of the top quality information that's available to help you move to the next level. And so that's what we're here to do today. So we've been talking about teamwork, and that's sort of been our area we've stuck in over the summer that we just really feel strong about. And we really do work a lot with teams, helping people to be able to work together. And that can always be a challenge.
It can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anytime you work with 2 or more people,
Right.
it's a challenge.
Yeah, and I think that part of it is not understanding the people that are around us serving on that team.
Right.
And so Sharon is a certified DISC trainer. She has helped me in Next Level. We've done together where she's done workshops on DISC training and help people discover their giftedness. So she's very good at that. And we feel that actually saved our marriage, learning about that, right? I mean,
Yes.
it helped us to understand each other a little bit better. But it's also helped in the workplace to understand with people. So there's a lot of tools that are available, that are out there, that do this kind of thing, that do the DISC training. There's some, I know there's one it's a color system that they do. We've talked a little bit about the Enneagrams, and how that all, and so these might be terms that you're familiar with.
And a lot of people who have gone to college have done the one that's
the Briggs and Meyer.
Briggs and Meyer.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little. You get beyond 6 letters, and I'm
Well,
I'm a little lost.
And the thing is, they're all relatively similar.
Yeah.
They're pretty much similar.
Yeah.
So you definitely have your introverts, your extroverts. You have your people that like to talk a lot. You have your people that like to do a lot. So typically people fall in those kinds of categories. And not that we're trying to put labels on people, but we just what it does for us, and what helps us in teamwork is that when we recognize other people's giftedness, then we're able to utilize that in the team environment.
Yeah.
And so we want to be able to do that. And, what you learn and what we'll get into on these 6 geniuses is that why try to reinvent the wheel? There's people that know how to do stuff.
Right.
And you might as well utilize those people to do stuff.
Absolutely.
It's like with my tractor. I could spend all day trying to get off the hydrostatic fluid transmission filter, which I did try for a long time. And then I finally called an expert that knows how to do that. And they were done in 5 minutes.
Yep.
I spent all day doing it.
And you spent money.
Yeah. I bought different tools that didn't work. And he came and he actually gave me one of the tools that does work. So,
all right.
It's just having the right person, and the right people to do the job that needs to be done. So a couple of years ago, probably 3 years ago now,
I think it was 23. I have it written down somewhere.
Sharon started talking to me about the 6 geniuses. And I knew who Patrick Lencioni was because he's written the book 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, which is an outstanding book.
Yep.
And Lencioni, what he does typically is he tells a story, and then he tells you how to identify things out of that story and how to utilize that with what you're doing. So Sharon had come to me about this, and I said, I've heard about it, but I had a lot on my plate already at that time. But then I started digging into it a little bit. And then we started using it, actually. So we both did it.
Well, we took the assessment, and we're like, okay, this is where I fit, And then we took it to our team.
Right. And so when we took it to our team, and then we started using it at the next level as part of our training process. So we've done it with some businesses where we've gone in and said, okay, let's go through, let's do this, and let's go through the survey for the 6 geniuses and help people identify. And then we actually, and we'll show you, hopefully if we have time, we'll show you a picture of what the team maps look like and how we utilize that. But why don't you just talk for a little bit, Sharon, about what are the different, the six types of working geniuses?
Yes. So Patrick came up with, well, he just didn't do it. It came, if you read the book, you find out it was a work in progress, and it wasn't just
It was a collaborative
It was
effort.
his team that came up with. And just out of frustration, they came up with this. Right. So the first one is wonder, not wander, but wonder. It identifies a person who is a wonder, identifies the need for improvement or change. Right. So in other words, you think, I wonder if there's a way that we could do this.
Yes.
So you're wondering, is there a better way? Is there an easier way? Wonder if anybody's ever done this before.
Yeah. They're kind of like the person that challenges the status quo.
Yeah.
And they'll be the one in a meeting that'll say, have you ever thought about?
Yeah.
And you probably haven't thought about it, but
right.
You're like,
well,
what?
if you're the vision caster,
yeah,
probably most of your team have never thought about what you're talking about.
Right.
Because they're not the vision caster.
Right.
So they don't think about that. They're thinking about their little cubicle that they're in, or their little area that they work in. They're not thinking about.
Or they're part of the vision.
They're part of the vision, yeah. So there's the wonder. Then there's the invention. And they confirm the importance of whatever that need is, and they generate ideas or solutions.
Yes.
So in other words, if Richard is a wonder, he'll come and say, I'm thinking about, or I'm considering, and so then the invention person, whoever might have that working genius, is going to come along and say, I do see that we need this, and I wonder if we could possibly do it like this, and comes up with different strategies, comes up with different ideas, comes up with different functions as to how to implement what the wonder has brought to the table. Then there's the discernment. Mm-hmm. And this is the one that if you're on a team and there's a discerner there, you could get really frustrated with them because they question everything.
They tap the brakes.
Yes. Wait a minute. If we had an example of that today, because I'm a discerner. Mm-hmm. So there was this idea that came actually it was not my idea, but I brought it to the table from the outside, and I had a question about, is this what we want to do because of this, and so it causes us to think about what we're doing. So a person that is a discerner is going to bring up all kinds of questions, and as a wonder and as an inventor, you're going to go, we're just going to do it, but the thing is, they're going to bring up questions that are going to be vital to the whole process that you didn't even think about. I never thought about that. We need to reconsider this. That doesn't mean that the idea wasn't any good, or that even the invention person, that their way of implementing it wasn't any good. It just means that, okay, have you thought about it? And maybe they have, and they've already answered that question, but they haven't communicated that yet.
This one probably gets misunderstood more.
Yeah.
But if you, since, because I'm an invention person.
Genius, yeah.
Yeah, genius with that. This is the one that you have the most trouble with. But when you recognize the value of each person, you really do see that, it's good you brought that up, because we really do. I didn't really think about that.
Right.
Like that's like you bring up a project. This is a really great idea, and then the discerner goes, "How are we going to pay for it?"
Right.
Well, I didn't think about how
where are we going to get the help?
Right.
We don't have anybody on the team that knows how to do that.
Right.
So Yeah, so yeah.
It's definitely beneficial. I know we could take time
Yeah,
on each of these.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, let's get through them. So then there's the galvanizing person, and they're the ones that generates enthusiasm and action around the idea or the solution. Because understanding that those that are sitting around the table they are part of the team. They might be the nucleus of the team, but they're not the whole team.
Right.
So in other words, Richard on our team, he's the vision caster. He's the one that comes in. He doesn't have all the ideas, but you're the one that's giving us direction. But underneath you've got a tree of leaders that are underneath you. I have a different role in the organization, and so underneath me, there's a team underneath me, a tree that branches out, and you just go around the table. It's that way all the way around. So, as a galvanizer, you're the one that's going to take this. Once we get it all, and you're going to say, okay, I can get people around this. I can sell this.
Mm-hmm.
Once we hash out everything, they're going to say, I can sell this. And that's the person that you're going to want out in front saying, okay, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. Who's with us?
Right.
Who wants to do this and who wants to do that? And so, that's the galvanizer. Then there's the enablement person. They initiate support. Now, they're not getting the support, but they initiate the support and assist in implementation of the idea or the solution. Mm-hmm. So they come along and they enable. So an enabler comes along and is beside whatever is going on, but they're taking the people that the galvanizer has brought in, and they're saying, okay, this is how we're going to work this, and this is how we're going to get this on the ground going. The last one is probably, it's not the most important, but you need this person. Because if this person isn't on the team, or if this person isn't in the circle, mm-hmm. the idea isn't going to go anywhere.
Right.
And that's the tenacity person. They're the finisher. They're the one that they commit to ensuring that the idea or the solution gets completed, and that the desired results come to pass.
Right.
So they're the last 20%. We always talk about that.
Right.
Anytime that you're doing a project, it's the last 20% that doesn't get done.
Yeah.
Whether it's if you're in construction and it's putting up the rails on the stairs, or it's putting down the baseboards, right. or it's painting the whatever. That's the last thing to get done, or it doesn't get done.
Right.
And so that tenacity person, all of them are important. All of them work together. All of them fit together. And recognizing the importance of each one of those is important.
Yeah, and so when we talk about the geniuses working together, why it becomes so vital is that, when we're sitting around a table, depending on how many are at that table, you'll have all these different gifts, mm-hmm. but you may not have an inventor at the table. Mm-hmm. And you would know that because you've gone through and, so inventors can come up with strategies pretty quick. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. The wonder person can definitely see where we're missing it at, the mm-hmm. things that we're not accomplishing. Mm-hmm. But the value in all of that is that we're creating an environment of success, that we're going, all of us working together can get way more of that synergistic idea
right.
that we talked about. We can all accomplish more together than we can each working independently. Mm-hmm. And what this does is it creates a mutual respect, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also it will lower the level of frustrations of mm-hmm. what's happening mm-hmm. when we realize this is the best person. We have a person on our staff that is a great galvanizer, mm-hmm. and they're really good at it. Mm-hmm. And in my recognizing that, now I can pretend to be a galvanizer, mm-hmm. but then I'm probably not working with my strength.
Right. So whenever you take the assessment, they give you 3 areas. There's your hang on for a second, I can find it. There is there's your genius. Mm-hmm. In other words, that's your That's your expertise.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that you were trained in that. That's just your gifting. You can see it. You can see the beginning to the end, or you can see the end and back it all the way up to the beginning.
Right.
So, that's your genius. That's your working genius. And then there's the competency. In other words, that's not my genius. I can do that, but that's not my genius.
Right.
And then there's the frustration.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the one that, the other two categories, the genius, I love doing it. That's what makes my boat float. The competency, that's the one that, okay, if I have to do it, I can do it. The frustration one, it's not going to get done.
It's not going to get done.
It's not going to get done because, and so when you take the assessment, it tells you what those areas are. And so once I began to see what my frustration was, which galvanizing is my frustration. I am not the one to put in front of the team and say, or put in front of the group or put in front of the employees and say, come on, this is what we're doing. This is the vision. This is how we're going to do it. And it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Not me. And I'm also not an enablement. Although I could do it, but that frustrates me. Right. To do that. But I am, so mine is that I am a discerner. I ask a lot of questions, which used to frustrate the snot out of him.
Oh, yeah.
But I ask
I'm usually surrounded by discerners. So.
Well, it's interesting because we may surround ourselves with what we need.
Right. Yeah, and don't even recognize
And we don't even recognize
Well, what's really interesting, too, is like on most, like when I do next level, like in a business, there's usually only, if there's even one, an idea person at the table, an inventor. There's no inventors.
And you really wonder if there really is, or has that been squelched?
Yeah, right. Because people brought up ideas about we could do this, and they said, we're going to have to stop. Yeah. We're running out of time. But we'll pick this back up next time, right where we're leaving off today. Now, if you're interested, we do have the availability to help people to be able to do these 6 Genius. How can people get a hold of you? What's the best email for them to email you at?
sjolliff@iCloud.
At iCloud.com.
Maybe you could put that in the bottom of the...
Yeah, we can. On the notes. Video. Yeah. So if you're interested and you want to do one of these
or if they
surveys,
want to do a disc.
Yeah, or you want to do the disc, just let us know. And we'll get you hooked up with that. There is a cost for that, but we'll communicate all that if you are interested. And we'll pick this up next time. It's been our honor to be here with you. We hope you're enjoying this as we learn about how to work together as teams and go to the next level. Have a great day.